Pleased to be in this show, and there's about 30 at least pieces that this is from, and I have to thank Wald for making the selection, because I would have probably made a different selection, and I think the selection she made was very effective. I've been getting good feedback on it. And there was a third painting that didn't work. If you look at these, you probably don't notice that there's a little difference in the size. One isn't quite as tall as the other one, and the one before is a little bit shorter, and the whole idea of the series was unfolding, evolving. And I started out with working from nature, and it was from a location in the Catskills called Otter Falls. So I call these OTT 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So there's a number on these, which they are in the sequence of development. So I had been working from found objects. That's been my kind of career, finding objects and using them as a motif to paint from. And I got to a point where I had been using an object and the painting I was doing wasn't coming out. So I did the old thing where you go back to nature, and I went up to the Catskills and started doing drawings and paintings, and did about 10 years of drawing and painting in the Catskills, and then decided that it was just enough sitting outside in the weather and so forth, and I wanted to work on the things and develop them. So taking the studies from nature, bringing them back into the studio, was a way of kind of interpreting them. So this is one of the stages of the interpretation, and there was a particular, I would have people come by to see them. There was I could tell the whole story about people's comments and what they meant, so I won't go into that. But one person who came by was a philosopher critic, and he said, "Wow, psychedelic." And usually I get a comment, I wouldn't know exactly what to say. And this time I said to him, "Yes, one goes into nature for a mind-altering experience." So the interpretation of these went through different stages, and finally it got to the point where I was doing reading, and the idea of looking at nature was to get beyond the horizon line. So obviously it's not what you would think of as a landscape when it's vertical. So I stumbled across a book called The Quantum Self by Dina Zohar, and it was it was about quantum mechanics and so forth, and how that might affect consciousness and so forth. And in working on the landscapes, eventually I got to the point where, and I was doing this scientific reading, which was difficult to understand, but I got some good synopsis and so forth. And I kind of thought of science as a new mythology to work from. And as I was reading about that, there were some mentions of consciousness, and I became interested in consciousness. And so my transition, my development into the work that I'm doing now, was to try to bring an element, a human element, presence into the landscape or nature paintings. And that was by getting people's handwriting and using the line as a kind of a consciousness element over a field, which was the unconscious or nature or physical attribute. So that brings me to my current work, which I don't have here. And if you all leave your contacts, I'll send you a notice when I get a chance to show it. Thank you. Are there any questions?
I do.
Yes?
In terms of the execution, I noticed that paper on canvas. Why did you cover the canvas with the paper and paint on it?
See, what happened was a lot of times I would work on something that was maybe 12 inches high. I would scan it and then tile it. Tiling was breaking it up into pieces where I could paste it on canvas, and that was like the underdrawing. And so I would do a drawing and digitize it and paste it on the canvas, and then paint over that. So if you look closely at some of these, you'll see stuff underneath that was the pasting, that was the paper part.
You mean multiple sheets of paper?
Multiple sheets of paper, yeah. So when I was working on the series, finally, after sitting in nature, just sitting there drawing and painting with watercolor, I came back and worked in the studio and included computer stuff to help me. It was like a tool to keep the thing going. Yes?
Can you expand on what you were saying about science as modern day mythology?
Well, I mean, if you look at the past, and there was religion, right? Michelangelo and the Sistine ceiling and so forth. And I feel like today, I feel like science is where beliefs are coming from, wherever you want to, whatever you want to say. Now, from what I was reading, though, I mean, there's something called string theory, right? And some scientists believe in it, some don't. So it's kind of like mythological what the different ideas in science are. So you can kind of pick and choose. And I'm not a scientist. So if whatever I'm doing, I'm kind of using that as an inspiration to try to build something, if I could say, poetic. Yes.
Fred, maybe you can elaborate on this, but I feel like I notice a lot of morphology from areas that shrink in size and then expand, and everything seems kind of connected in that regard. Is that the way you work in some respects, as you're moving from area to area and things morph into, and then essentially expand?
Yes. I've been interested in objects and kind of discovering things, and something might be perplexing what it is, and then it takes years later to find out what it is. But also I've been interested in pattern, what pattern can be, and it's kind of like a contradiction, you know, an object, but then that's something I've been working with. So in nature, I would see leaves, and I would see so much stuff, and everything was too green. I'm looking for color, to work with color. And then the idea of abstracting was to boil it down maybe to 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue, or black and white, or something like black and white, and work with patterns. So you still see some of the nature elements, see? And little by little they disappeared. See leaves there, roots here, and it was water that flowed down. And there was a particular place called Otter Falls. And I think I had a dream, and somebody came by and said it's Barbara's Falls. But I think it really was Otter Falls. And so here's the water, so I can explain what's in the painting, and then how to abstract that. So my way of abstracting was to develop patterns, and then I go to the next one, and there's a funny shape to put in to interpret, and then there's another way of working out the flow. Yes?
A couple of questions. I want to get a little more of a picture of how actually the final execution. That once you put these pieces of paper on, these sketches on,
right.
Are you actually working with oil paint or with ink, you know, to fill in those details by hand?
Not quite.
Okay.
Most likely what happened is I paste the paper on, and I can't even see the paper on this one. I can see some of the drawing underneath. You can see the seams of the paper here. And once the paper is on, I would give it a coat of matte acrylic work or matte medium, and that would kind of give me this, a unified surface to work with. And then I worked in a sign painter supply store, and I had access early on to different kinds of brushes, lining brushes, and so forth. So, and also I went to New York Central, where the guy there was a kind of a connoisseur of brushes. So I picked up all different kind of striping brushes and lining brushes and so forth. And so I was able to paint this tight kind of work with shapes and so forth with the kind of brushes I was
doing
and,
right
and
now.
dipping it into acrylic that I had thinned down and so forth. And sometimes it was flash, which was a kind of French version of acrylic, which I don't know if you can even get anymore.
Yeah.
We can.
Can? Oh, good.
Secretary, how long
Yeah.
does it take to do one of these? The actual execution of it, once you.
Well, well, you know, it probably is a couple of weeks, and I might have something one going, and I start another one, and so I have several things going, and so I can't really tell you. I'm doing watercolors now, and I might have some of them I started a year ago. I put them aside. They're just ink drawings, and I'm laying them out again and working on them. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, okay.
If there's no more questions, thank you.